So instead of me using my mic tonight, I'm just going to be kicking it with y'all for a minute. Tonight, I want to talk about accountability. I told a few people that I would be getting on at 7. However, I was having some work done in the house, and the plumber did not leave until about 20 minutes ago. But anyway, I want to talk about accountability. I want to talk about what it means to be accountable and have someone in your life that is accountable to you. How does that show up? How does that look in a relationship? Right? Um, just waiting on a few of y'all to jump on. Mm, that's interesting. Don't see me. Let's see. It's so funny. I'm not planning on being on here too long either. I'm just checking my Facebook to make sure that I'm on. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. And I'm going to share it to my group. Hmm. This is horrible, y'all. I don't know why my computer is so slow. I'm not even going to trip. I'm not even. Hey, Yana, I see you, Mama. I see you. Yeah, I wanted to jump on and because I said to everybody I would get on tonight at 7. So I said, let me jump on for a little while. I had some work done in the house today, so I'm just getting on now. I have to teach my class in a little while. I am very, very excited to be here 2 days in a row. Can y'all believe that? Oh, and my phone is not working. So I don't have my phone. So I'm waiting until tomorrow for them to bring my new, I'm supposed to get it tomorrow evening, but waiting for my or tomorrow during the day to get my new phone because my phone screen is completely black. So I'm waiting on my new phone, so I couldn't text anybody or do anything or whatever. Hey, I see y'all watching. I see y'all watching. So I wanted to talk about accountability and kind of what that looks like, right? What does it look like to be accountable, right? What does it look like? Yana, can you share it in the group, Mama? Can you share it in love, marriage, and relationships? Love, relationships, and marriage. Yeah, what does it look like to be accountable? Um, or let's just talk about accountability. Period. What does that look like? Right? It's important that if you're going to be in a relationship, right, with anybody, your sisters, brothers, children, whoever it is, right? One of the key things that I think that is important, and as I've grown older, I realized that in order for me to be in a right relationship with anybody, I've not only got to be accountable to them, but I've got to be accountable to myself. Thank you, Yana. Yana, I appreciate you, Mama. I appreciate you. I've got to be accountable to myself because I find that accountability is so important. It is my responsibility to be accountable. Hey, I see you, friend. Thank you, baby. Yes, I see you. Hola, mama. Hola. So I see in a real way that accountability is one of the most important things that you could ever have for yourself and for others. So I find, like, how you meet somebody and you want to help them, you want to be a blessing to them, you want to, serve, you want to do all of these things. Last night I talked about, um, finding, like your life partner, right? Kind of knowing what that's all about, right? How do we do that, right? So here's the other part of that. Let's just be clear. You're not going to find the person, the love of your life, and I don't mean this to sound in a negative way, until you truly understand what it is that you want and need, right? And the accountability, hey, Tanya, I see you, my love. I see you. And the accountability part comes in at being accountable to yourself and operating with integrity about what you want and what you need. A lot of times people think accountability is always about holding somebody else's feet to the fire, right? Like, I'm gonna make sure that they're accountable, that they do their job, that they do what they're supposed to do. But there is also accountability for oneself. So we're going to talk about accountability in a real way. Let's be honest about how accountability plays a role in all of our relationships. And when we honor and operate with integrity within ourselves, we then can give that to other people, right? When we are accountable to ourselves, we then can give that to a man, a woman, you know? But when people are not accountable for their actions and the things that they do to you, right? We be pissed off. Like, how dare you, treat me such and such a way? Like, how dare you, act like this or do that or do this? Oh, snap. One self accountability. You know what? You're so silly. No, but it's true. It's like for men and for women to be like really honest, right? In order for you to get to where it is that you really truly want to be, it requires a level of accountability to self first and then to everybody else. So when you operate with honor and integrity within your own self and you do those things that you know are the right things to do according to what you want and need for your life, right? When it's like that, what you end up doing is now you stand with the posture of good character and integrity, and when you choose a partner, your partner will feel that same energy and be drawn to you. Because who does not want a person who is going to a therapist? Because if you go into a therapist, that's a great thing. Who is done the introspection, who has the the clarity in their mind. Who doesn't want to be with a partner like that? Who doesn't? I mean, a person who's checking their own selves, a person who is taking ownership of their stuff, a person who's not just telling you the one side of the story with a woman flipped out and or the man flipped out, but they say, no, I played a role and I played a part in everything that happened in my life. Like, you want a person who holds themselves accountable. Wait a minute. Man, I thought about that question all night. How my accountability to myself misinformed other areas of my life. Just teasing it through. Yeah. How about that? How about that? But your accountability in a real way is rooted in your truth. See, okay, so let me say this. When you stand on the word of God, right? And I really need to say this. When you stand on the word of God and you live your life in such a way that you are truly valuing and loving other people and you are trying to pour into them, because that's what we're all called to do. If you're a Christian, you're here to serve, period. And you want to pour into them, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Right. So one of the things that, we have to pay attention to and be honest about is I have to figure out what's important to me. And I have to operate from that point. So my accountability first has got to be to me standing up, me being strong, me doing the things that I need to do and honoring myself before I can go out there and give it to anybody else. It's like, how am I going to give to somebody that which I do not have for myself? You can't. People say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And if you look at some of the people, some, not all, but if you look at some of the people that say, I love you, real talk, if you look at some of the people that say, I love you, if you just look at them, for real, and I'm not talking about an external look at them, and look inside, look past what you see on the surface. Are they really loving themselves? Are they really doing what they're supposed to be doing for them? And this is real talk. Do they honor themselves? Do they do what they're supposed to do? Because it's got to be God first, right? And then it's got to be you, right? Because before you can give to your children or anybody else, or to a husband or a man or a woman, anybody else, you have to stand up in your own good character for yourself. So what that means, y'all, real talk, we not gonna lie to ourselves no more about what we see right in front of us. We're gonna operate with integrity. We're gonna see the truth and we're gonna call the truth what the truth is. I.e., I know you like him, I know you like her, but are they truly the one for you, or are you just, hanging out because you're bored, or, making up for missed time, or, I mean, I don't mean missed time, making up to just have somebody fit into your life just because you're bored and you don't have anything else to do. And right now, you don't have the person that you truly want to be in your life. So they're like a pastime. Is that integrous? When you know that the other person wants something more? So you're going to string them along because you ain't got nothing else to do. And you know that the other person is wrong for you. But you stay and you hang in there anyway because it's convenient. And you know that you don't really care about them like that, and they don't care about you like that, but it beats a blank. Is that operating with integrity? Is that telling the truth? Is that what you really want? Is that what gets you, up in the morning and make you like want to shout for joy? When you know that a person is not that person for you. And you're like, yeah, but they're easy lay and ain't no stress attached to them, so let's get it. Okay, I'm not asking or looking for them to do anything for me. I just want somebody so I don't feel alone. Right? Because I feel alone. And when I feel alone, I just want somebody to be there to fill up the space for me. The silence is loud. The silence is loud. I've been on a sabbatical and I was texting somebody that I know, and I said to them, I'm on a sabbatical. I'm not talking on my phone. I'm just chilling. I'm doing whatever. And I'm doing things in the house or whatever, right? And I'm just sidebarring, right, for a second. I said, but the silence is loud. The silence is loud. So nobody wants to be completely alone. And so sometimes we, instead of taking time to be with ourselves and to learn what it is that we want and we need in our life, right? And instead of taking time to sit and figure that out and sitting with ourselves and understanding who we are and beginning to operate in the very things that we want as we are becoming, sometimes we get involved with people just because we're lonely, just because we're tired of sitting in the house, or tired of going out to dinner by ourselves, tired of talking to the same people over and over again. And you want sometimes so desperately to have somebody in your life, and you end up in situationships. You end up in friends with benefits relationships. You have created something that you're not even sure how you got involved in. And the truth of the matter is, it's all because, a lot of times we don't want to be lonely, but we don't hold ourselves accountable. A lot of times you blame another person for where you are. But here's the question. Were you loving yourself completely and totally when you got involved with a person you knew you weren't going to be in a long-term relationship with? Were you literally understanding that, like, they cool, I can deal with them a little bit, um it beats me being lonely? Do you think for 2 seconds that you are holding yourself accountable for who you are and what you do in your life and how you show up every day? The reason why this is important in a real way is because as you go through this process, um, as you go through this process, you soon find out that every day that you were involved with somebody who did not honor the vision that you had for your life, Every day that you stayed, every day that you rolled around with somebody who was wonderful and amazing, just not the person for you, every day that you did that, you were lying to yourself. Every day that you did that, you were going against what you truly want. And who's holding you accountable if not you? Why were you engaging in being bothered? And openly and honestly admit, you know what, I was bored. I didn't have nothing else to do. But now you just wrecked somebody else's life. I mean, people don't realize the things that they do, the damage that they do, how they hurt other people, right? And sometimes we are the person that hurts other people. Not all the time. That may not always be your intent. But until you get real honest about where you are, until you realize that you shouldn't be rolling around in the mud with people who they don't even deserve you, you're so much better. Once you begin to realize, and this is real talk, how amazing and wonderful you are when you operate with integrity and good character, that whole accountability piece becomes so much easier to wrap your head around when you're living in truth, right? Your truth, the God consciousness of it all. What's the right thing to do? And sometimes it's hard to sit by yourself with yourself and say, you know what, even though I want to be in a relationship right now, I don't know if I'm ready or I haven't met the right one. And sticking to that and holding your own feet to the fire about what it is you truly want. Because if you want a dope relationship that's fly, that honors you, respects you, the person loves you, they serving you, you serving them, and all of the things that you dreamed about or dreamt about, all the things that you have visions about, and then you turn around and you're with someone who does not do it for you, that kind of says a whole lot. And you don't love them. Which is why, can I be honest with y'all? Which is why when I see men in relationships and they tell me that they don't love the woman, I am always befuddled. So you mean to tell me you sitting here and you trying to work all of this out and you going through all of these changes and you don't love her? So it always boggles my mind. Because I think men are a lot more methodical in their thinking. I really do. I think men are a lot more methodical in their thinking. So when I see a man staying with a woman that I know and he telling me he don't love her, right? Yeah, I know I am on a roll, right? I am on a roll. I'm gonna post y'all comments because this is something. Um, yeah, like how are you in a relationship? How are you in a relationship? Benny, how I'm gonna post your comment. How are you in a relationship with somebody that you don't love? And you expect it to work. You really truly expect it to work. But you don't think that they can feel your energy. And so you don't think there's any accountability that you need to have in that. Because now you got this person, coexisting with you, maybe not living with you, but, that thinks that they're in a full blown loving relationship because you're nice, you're kind, you're decent towards them, but you don't really love them. You actually blocking their blessings from them being with somebody who really loves them. You know what I mean? That's real talk. That's real talk. I'm going to post the comments because what did you say? Put some respect on my boundaries and accept some accountability. You so silly, Minnie. Um, hey, just as long as she covers her half of the mortgage, it hurts a little less. You know what? You are hilarious. You are hilarious. Why would anyone be in a relationship where they do not love each other? No, I think it's not that they don't care completely about each other. It's just not love, right? And from what I understand, men, and maybe I'm wrong, but men fall in love once, maybe twice in their entire life. Women, they love what they feel like is the right person for them, right? When you treat them right, when they feel safe, they love you. I've only felt safe one time in my entire life. I've only felt safe one time in my entire life. So that's the only time that I've ever loved anybody. Everything else was nonsense. And that's the truth. That's the truth. But I hold myself accountable because I was engaged with people. Well, at the time, maybe I thought I was in love, but I didn't love myself, so that didn't work. When wait, so Hector goes, when two people are right for each other and truly love each other, they will always find a way to be there for each other. I agree if that's what they both want. Hector, do you know how many people run from love? Kim, do you think that's healthy only once? I'm just telling you what I kind of researched and found on Google. I'm not telling you that it's healthy or not. The evidence or the I shouldn't even say the evidence. Um, the research shows that men generally fall in love one time in their entire lives, maybe twice. Oh, you mean for me? I don't. Oh, um, yeah, it's healthy for me. It's absolutely healthy for me. And the reason why I say that, Benny High, is because I've never felt safe before. You got to understand that if a woman doesn't feel safe, and I know that this is researched, and I'm not just talking about me when I say this, when women do not feel safe, women don't let themselves go emotionally. All the other time before that I thought I was in love, I really wasn't loving myself. I didn't know real talk what self love is or was. I didn't know how to get there. So when I look back at my marriage and I look back at my first love and I look back at guys that I was in a serious relationship with, I didn't love myself when I was with them. I was either hurting or I was going through something or coming out of something, like it wasn't me loving me, you know? So I'm just being honest, you know, because I always thought, like, oh my God, I was so in love until I look back over it. I'm like, I wasn't in love. I couldn't have loved them because I wasn't loving me. And only now can I speak to that because I literally love myself like nobody's business now. And I'm not in love with myself. I'm so flawed, it's not even funny. But I love myself enough to walk away from whatever doesn't serve me. But I also love myself ah, enough to be in, enough to be accountable to me first, so that I can be a loving and kind and generous partner. I wasn't loving myself before, so I don't know. It was very healthy for me. Me having the awakening that I had was extremely healthy for me. Um, because I had to learn some stuff first. Okay, so Dana says, I have looked at past relationships and asked myself, did you really love them? I'm going to say not really. So I'm going to say I never really experienced real love. Listen, it is what it is. I think women have a tendency to love who loves them, or they can, right? You treat me good, and it's gonna bring about love, right? Real talk. Even if I don't love you when I first meet you, you treat me good and like the queen that I am. And I'm not saying anybody. It's not like if he was ugly, I didn't find him attractive or anything. Oh, I'm just gonna love him because like that kind of thing. Maybe not ugly. I just don't find him attractive, right? I'm not loving that. I don't know that if I'm not attracted to you, then, and I mean that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, it's probably not going to turn into anything. I don't care how good you are, right? But you don't know. Like, I mean, maybe you never. So I'm gonna say I never really experienced real love. I listen, Dana. I get it. I get it. I've only ever felt safe once. I've only loved one person my entire life, and I've been married, and it wasn't my husband. Because back then I was manipulative, I was controlling, I was trying to make it be what I wanted it to be. That's not love. That's not love. But that's how I showed up in a lot of my relationships. So I wasn't going to find love there. It was about controlling the narrative, controlling them, controlling me controlling them, who's going to win, the argument. It was never submission. It was never submission. It was never honor. There was no honor tied to anything that I did back then. I'm a different person now. I'm a completely different person. And that don't mean I won't flip off because I have my moments. Like if I could just keep it 100, I'm just being honest. I have my moments, right? But they're less and less, and I operate from a place of love. So no, I'm not always operate. I didn't always operate in love. I didn't always do the things. The things. Y'all know the things, right? I didn't always do the right things, and I really did not always look at um I thought I was loving somebody. Child, please, I was a hot bona fide, all the way hot bona fide man. There you go. And for me, safety is physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, cultural. Yes, yes, Fran. Yes, absolutely, my love. Absolutely. Because it's not just it's not just, oh, you're gonna physically protect me. No, it's mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. Yeah, it's all of that. I need to be respected. I know somebody who right now, and y'all know I talk to a million people, whose husband does not consider her ever. He makes all kinds of decisions. Um, and he never consults her about anything. He just does it, and she's really pissed. And people don't understand that when you don't consider your partner and you don't think about them first, right? And consider what their needs are. And you two work this thing out. Your relationship is headed for demise. And so, probably about 4 years ago, she told me I'm headed towards a divorce, right? Now, not for nothing, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, she told me she was headed for divorce. She's still not divorced, but she is miserable. And she's trying to hang in there and do, and stick with her husband because that's her husband, it's not her boyfriend, right? But here's the thing. How much how much damage is being done to that relationship? How much? Because she's not saying how she genuinely feels all the time. And she's stuck, or maybe she's not stuck, but she's in a place mentally, emotionally, um, and spiritually where she's just unhappy. And of course, she doesn't feel safe because anybody who doesn't consider you and how you feel would make you not feel safe. You need to know that you can trust them, right? Hector says sometimes people come into our lives to enrich and sometimes to teach. Absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Okay, maybe I love, but was not in love. Yeah, that's true too. That's true because I love a lot of people. I love a lot of people. I love people in general. Like, I think everybody has something amazing and wonderful to add to the pot, of my life. So I eat the meat and I spit out the bones. I love people genuinely for who they are, and I'm not trying to make them into who I want them to be. Right? I just love you where you at. That don't mean you for me, but I love you. You know? In 2024, if I met a woman that expresses she never experienced real love in a relationship, I pray she's getting the therapy she so desperately needs. That's interesting. That's interesting. Wait, let me put that comment back up. In 2024, if I met a woman that expressed she never experienced real love in a relationship, hmm, I pray she gets the therapy that she needs. Um, okay, Benny, that's you. That's if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, pumpkin. But I'm just gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm being deadly serious. People have not experienced real love, not necessarily because of the therapy that she didn't get or he didn't get, right? People haven't been in love because they haven't met their person. You can love people, but being in love with somebody, that needs to be your person. And everybody is not your person because they cute or they fine, or he handsome or he did. You know, that don't mean that that's your person. They have to meet you on different levels, and especially at our age, right? Everybody's not appealing to me anymore. Like anymore. Whatever, right? It's a certain type of person that, that can capture my attention. I mean, honestly, it's a certain type of person that can capture my attention, right? But they got to be working on themselves. That's a key thing right there. Work on yourself. They got to be working on themselves, right? I don't want to be involved with anybody who's not trying to go to therapy or not doing some introspection or not taking accountability or not taking responsibility for what their lives have been. You know how you meet people and they tell you stories. You say, well, what happened in your last relationship, right? And they go on to tell you how the baby mama or the baby daddy was just so crazy and outrageous and da 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 da. And you don't, right? There you go. There you go, Dana. Like that. Okay. And you don't ever hear them own anything that they've ever done. It's always somebody else's fault. That's a problem, and you should probably run. Because a person who doesn't take responsibility for their lives does not hold themselves accountable for where their lives are. It's always somebody else's fault. So yeah, I can meet 10 people today. And if those 10 people lack the skill set and the ability to take accountability and responsibility for where their lives is, I ain't being bothered. Because there's a certain quality of a person that I want to be around. And even with my friends, all my friends, they have all been vetted and we all have deep conversations. And most of them, not all of them, but most of them take accountability for where they are in their lives. And I think that everybody needs that. I'm just being honest. Everybody needs that for them, for themselves. Not for everybody else. You need it for yourself. You see people walking around gossiping and talking about other people, and you say to yourself, if I leave, they're going to gossip about me, right? Same thing. Why would you be involved with somebody who's not on your level? If you know that that's not what you do, you want to talk about ideas. You want to talk about personal growth and development. You want to talk about elevating your life to the next level, but you're around people who gossip all day, right? And are not taking any accountability for where they are personally. They'd rather talk about everybody else. It's almost like Jerry Springer, right? And when you think about that, the person who sits around and if you're the person who sits around and goes in with them, think about that. That's your responsibility. That's who you're choosing to be with. And if you choose people who lack accountability, self-accountability, self-responsibility, and they want to, do that, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you feel like you want to do. I mean, rock on. But I know that where I'm going, I need people who are evolving right along with me. And I think all of us who want to be in a great relationship, you want to be talking about building, not other people. Like, I'm not worried about what's going on in pop culture. I'd rather read a book. But that's just me. And sometimes I watch TV, very rarely, but that's just me. There are some people who live and breathe on TV all day, every day. That's all that they do. and can write a book about the stuff that they saw on TV. That's not what I'm doing. And it's okay, right? Whatever people decide to do, it's okay. By the time I get finished praying and doing my affirmations and writing a little bit and trying to work on me, I don't have time to know what's going on, in pop culture. But if anything, I'm guilty of is I'm a political news junkie. So maybe I should do less of that. But let's talk about this. Hector, I'm posting your comment. Trust me, you will know when you're truly loved and been loved. I've seen a lot of couples come to breaking up only to realize what they had was truly special, and it took time apart to realize this. These are the strongest relationships I've seen as far as being everlasting. But both parties must feel the connection and stick to positive, enriching therapy to heal the broken part. Agreed, Hector. Agreed. Completely. People can go through different things and fight like cats and dogs at first, but then come to a place where they understand that they are better together than they ever were apart. Right? Dana says, like you said, Kim, I want that safe place. I want that peace. I'm at an age now that if a man can give me peace, that is something that I can fall in love with. Yes. So the first part is to have peace for yourself, right? And then to understand that and set that like as a parameter, like whoever comes into my circumference, if I'm already peaceful in my house and my life and everything is peaceful, then the man that I choose, I want him to understand how important that peace is to me. That peace is for me, and then live your life in such a way that honors peace, right? That's the first part. But then the second part is they ain't coming in bringing you no drama, no baby mama drama. You're not looking through their phone. You ain't going through all of that because you don't have to. Because they're in alignment with you and you're in alignment with them. Now, I'm not saying, I'm thinking that if a man loves you, right? And it's just for my sister. If a man loves you, he's going to do the absolute most to make you happy. And in return, you do the absolute most to make him happy. And that's how that goes, right? Benny Haas says, you are supposed to have your own peace, and a partner adds to that peace. They don't bring you peace when you have toxicity in your life. That's true. I agree. Because you got to have it for yourself first. You have to have it for yourself first, right? And then the person who comes in will add to it. But it already exists. It exists in you. And a lot of people don't realize that. You guys, I'm telling you, I wasn't going to get on here long. I literally have to go teach my class, and I've been way over. And they are so gracious and kind towards me. Some of them on the line, and they're just on the live, and they like, okay, I know what Kim's doing, but I really need to get on and go teach my class. I love y'all for real, and I am so grateful. I do not have my cell phone, so if anybody needs to reach me, y'all gonna have to inbox me until I get my new one tomorrow. Okay, so Hector says, I'm man enough to admit I ducked up my last relationship. Took me time away, time spent in meditation and time to work on myself with your awesome class has been a huge help, Kim. You are amazing. Thank you so much, Hector. You know, you always make me cry. I'm not doing that. Like, you play too much. I was crying last week. Y'all play too much. Y'all play too much. I'm telling you, y'all are like amazing. Y'all really are amazing. I'm telling you, like, you know what the best part of me teaching that class is? Everybody who's in the class, the best part of the best part of the Unlocking Your Love class is everybody in there wants to grow. They tired of being in the same situation. It's like, you keep going around and around in a circle, and you keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting something different to happen. Well, dissecting who you are and how you show up in the world, right, is everything. It's everything, right? So when you begin to do some introspection and learn about you, what your wants, need, what your core values are, the things that are important to you as a human being, right? Respect, honor, dignity, all of that other good stuff, right? You begin to change and you begin to evolve, right? And so as you evolve, the light bulbs begin to come on and your life begins to change. So everybody that's in the class, male and female, right, uh, is benefiting so much. It's like it's a game changer. It is complete and total game changer, but it is your willingness to work. And that's what I tell all of y'all all the time. It's your willingness to work. It's you saying, yes, I want to work on becoming a better version of myself. That makes my heart glad. Because that's what we need. Real talk. Real talk. Emotions Forum tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Y'all be there or be square. If you are in the tri-state area, you do not want to miss the Emotions Forum tomorrow. And everybody's like, well, Kim, I'm coming through, guys. And somebody said to me, Benny Ha, do you remember when the forum would be more men than it was women? I was telling them, I said, they's like, oh, I'm sure it'd be a whole bunch of women. I'm like, no. Sometimes the men, it's more men there than it is women. It could be like 10, 12 men and like 6 women. And it was a time when my boy Darren Green and Russell Harris was there with me that we would have like 110 people in the room. All professionals, all kinds of stuff. We don't do it at that level anymore. I'm just doing it for the summertime. But yeah, no, it's no man bashing, none of that stuff, right? So like y'all be thinking like, oh, it's gonna be a whole bunch of women there and they're gonna be blah 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 blah. Sometimes the men, it's more men there than it is women. I mean, from what I used to do. This is only the second one I'm doing this summer, so we're gonna see how this week go. But I hear from a lot of men like, I'm coming through. I'm like, okay, I'll see y'all when y'all get there. So I'm excited about that. And I want y'all to be a part of it. And if you haven't done so already, register at reallovejones.com so you'll know about all the upcoming events, so you'll know what's going down, so you'll get the information in advance about what new things I have coming up, like the relationship retreat. Anyway, guys, I love y'all like some cooked food. I promise y'all I do. Y'all have an awesome and amazing evening, and I will catch up to y'all later. Love y'all.